Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Zander and Jes Valentine.
Nat, welcome to the pod.
Kate, I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so excited to tell you about our new sponsors for the new year.
Who is it?
So we have Brainwashed Coffee, and Brainwashed Coffee is amazing because 50% of all of the proceeds support addiction recovery. One of my sober treats this year was an espresso machine, so I'm really excited to use Brainwashed Coffee to make some lattes. Brainwashed has a 20% off discount when you use the code seltzersquad at checkout. It's brainwashedcoffeeco.com. Use the discount code at checkout, get 20% off. Let's all get caffeinated and crush our goals.
Yeah, stay caffeinated.
Squad, I just finished my book list of 2021, and I wanted to remind you that if you go to audibletrial.com/seltzersquad, you get your first month free or a free credit, however you want to look at it. One of my goals for 2021 is to read 50 books. I don't know if I will be able to read 50 books, but I did start making my list. I have a lot of quit lit on it, and I'm very excited to start reading and listening. Majority of the books on my list are audiobooks. So if you're interested in that as well, please go to audibletrial.com/seltzersquad and sign up. Hello, Jes.
Hello, Kate.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I want to answer some questions today. How are you?
I'm good. I love that idea. I feel like it's been a minute. So
we've got some juicy ones in our inbox.
Yeah. Do you want to start or do you want me to?
You go first.
All right. Dear Jes and Kate, I have been trying to get and stay sober for about a year now. I am able to put together sober days, weeks, and even months, and I've put in some real work, rewiring my broken brain, i.e. therapy, inner child healing, yoga, meditation, new friends, etc. But always seem to end up convincing myself it's okay to drink again. I try not to be hard on myself and know it's part of the process, and there are lots of reasons to relapse in 2020. But I think one of the reasons I have kept going back is because I haven't experienced any kind of pink cloud sort of feelings in sobriety. Have either of you ever experienced the pink cloud of sobriety? If so, what was the timeline like? Did it come and go, or will it take me years to get to? I know that everyone's experience with this is different if they even experience it at all, but just wanted to hear your opinions on it and experiences with you. Thank you for your podcast and all the work you do.
I feel like you can speak to that real well.
Well, can I? Because I hear this pink cloud and I don't even know what that means.
I mean, I think the part that I thought about you and at the beginning, like I seem to end up convincing myself it's okay to drink again, you know, like having those thoughts of like, wanting to, even though you can't, you know?
Oh, I thought that pink cloud means like everything's perfect and rosy in your life and you're like so happy and gung-ho about sobriety.
I think,
I don't know.
I mean, pink cloud is definitely...
I've heard the term, but I've never it's never been defined for me.
I feel like I had a pink cloud. I feel like I had a pink cloud the first time I got sober, and then it became extremely lonely and isolating. And it happened around like 5 months ish, where everything felt like I was like killing it all over the place. But I was talking to somebody who is in early sobriety, has a few months under her belt, and I feel like she hasn't had any what I call like sober wins. So she hasn't experienced that either, where it's like you haven't had any like life rewards for making good choices. Like you haven't had a promotion or you haven't like, you know, like where life just kind of starts heading in the right direction and you're like, this is making more sense. I feel like some of those results happen sooner or later for certain people and at whatever point they're at in their sobriety. And that's tough. I mean,
yeah, I think it's so case by case basis. Like I definitely, if I'm interpreting this correctly, I think that there was a time where I also felt like very like, oh, like I love being sober and sober is great. And like, why didn't I do this sooner? And like, this is like, my life is so much better now, which granted it is, but I wasn't feeling at the time, like my sobriety didn't feel rocked at all.
Do you think you were in a pink cloud when we started the pod?
I think I probably was.
Because you were like so interested in like talking about it so openly? I feel like you were coming from a confident place.
It was like my second real go at it, or third, whatever. But in that year, let's say, that was like my second real go. And I knew that I was really in it for the right reasons. And so I was super positive and optimistic. But I think that eventually, like with anything, when the dust settles and life happens, that's when like you question things or you doubt yourself. And I think that's totally normal. But as far as like the pink cloud theory, I honestly don't want to say anything specific because I'm not really even sure what that means. I don't know if it's an AA term or not because I've heard it used here and there, but I've never really fully understood it.
I think the pink cloud comes and goes. What I noticed when I was in or what I identify as a pink cloud is that I was able to identify patterns, and the way I would react in patterns, I was able to like stop in the moment and react like old Kate would choose this. New Kate is choosing that, and then feeling good about that, but also not being fully healed either. Just having the awareness being brought on the case by case basis. And so I guess I would urge the listener that, I think pink clouds come and go, and like joy comes and goes, and moods go up and down. Like everything is sort of a wave all the time. It's never going to be flat. You're never going to be like cured and happy and joyful in sobriety. It's like a giant roller coaster, just like life is. But I think they
ebbs and flows.
And I think that this person probably has more wins if they were to go back and look at some of the micro wins that they've had. I mean, they've done the therapy, the inner child healing, meeting new friends. Like, I think maybe the pandemic is probably a real damper on the external validation because no one's outside or going out regularly. So you're not really getting any validation from external sources. But
and you keep trying to drink again and you keep having the same results. So I think that it, just like me, I'm having the same realization, currently is that you're never going to really be able to probably get a handle on it. I mean, I don't want to say never, but for the most part, I feel like history repeating itself is kind of showing you that it's not really worth attempting to try to, drink responsibly. I think that once you kind of come to grips with that, then maybe things will kind of shift. Again, I don't know this person. I don't know the backstory.
Sure.
I am totally making, assumptions, but for me, knowing that, okay, like, no, I'm not going to be able to chance this is what's kind of sets me back straight. And then I'm able to go forward again, kind of in a more straight arrow, if that makes sense, kind of get my footing back.
Yeah. I don't want them to think that relapse could be an option because they're void of a pink cloud experience also. Like, I don't want them to know, like, sobriety will ebb and flow for sure and go up and go down, that you just got to stay the course. And I don't want you to think of relapse as a viable option for yourself because you haven't experienced the joy that you thought you would.
Right. Yeah. It's tricky. There's no right answers, All right.
Thanks for writing that question. That's a hard one.
Yeah, it's a really hard one. We're both sitting here very like looking at our faces, like thinking hard on it.
Nodding to one another.
Nodding. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm going to read the next one from C.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It starts by saying, the codependent podcast. So just wondering, how do you get past the point of not wanting to rock the boat? Like any boats. I will even have issues when one thing comes up that would make my boyfriend upset if I go, but would make my friends upset if I don't. And I seriously will pick the option that makes whoever the least upset and not even what I care about or want. I don't even think about what I want. For example, I was invited to an alcohol-free taco bar birthday party. Yeah, fucking awesome, right? But R and I always hang out on this night, and I feel like if I go, he'll get annoyed or maybe the party won't be fun, so I shouldn't even bother. I don't know. Sobriety has made me way too timid. I feel like I've lost all my power, and now I'm just a sad little puppy that wants to make everyone happy. Same.
Oh, that's tricky.
Aww.
I don't know. I mean, I get.
I know this writer from the. I know if you recognize the name. Like now that I also know who the person is, I'm like, oh. Also, I'm codependent.
Yeah.
I don't want to rock any boats. Like
you're better.
I bought soundproofing because my husband talks too loud and I'm afraid our neighbor's going to be upset. So I soundproofed his corner of the apartment because I'm like, she's going to hate us. He's on a conference call too loud. I don't want to rock the boat. Like, fuck this lady.
Oh my God. This shitty one upstairs?
Yeah. She hates herself, so she hates us.
Yeah.
The codependent part. I'm
We had a
trying
lot
to
of people like that
become-
episode, by the way.
I am trying to also become comfortable with leaving people disappointed, quote unquote. And I'm in a class called Group Dynamics, and we're learning about communication and conflict resolution. And you probably can speak to this too with your nonviolent communications book. But part of like the healthy process of group functions are what my book calls structured controversies, which is basically like disagreements that they're healthy and natural as long as they're in like a particular setting and you're making I statements instead of you statements. And so when I think about in sobriety, I have had to get really honest with some people when I don't want to do something. Like I think about a few times when I've genuinely bailed on people, and in the instances I would have used to lie about something, I now force myself to tell the truth. Like, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it. This is why I overscheduled myself. I'm really tired. I don't feel up to it. Like if it makes me feel uncomfortable. And that's been really a big step for me in sobriety to just admit my own feelings about something. Like I would urge this person to admit their own feelings, at least to themselves. You want to eat tacos, you want to stay home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tricky. I mean, I would definitely go to the taco party. But
Same. I love tacos.
I know. That's such a great idea, by the way. I don't know. I think it's hard for me and you to answer because we haven't really mastered codependency yet.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I definitely do what I want. But that's not to say that I haven't done things just because I don't want to let someone down.
Sure.
Like I have people in my life that I feel obligated to do X, Y, and Z with or for, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So I've been taking steps for myself doing what I want to do, which is just nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I want to do something, I'll do it. And if I don't, I guess let's say go to something. If I want to go to something, I'll do it. If I don't, then I won't go. And you have to be willing to accept that you're going to let people down.
Sure.
Like you said, like disappointing people.
Also,
And
most
that's
people don't
okay.
care as much as you think they're going to.
That's what it is. We're building it up on our own heads. For sure. Especially if you're not an asshole about it and you're like, hey, I'm not coming because whatever, fill in the blank, rather than just like not showing up to something after you, promise that you'll be there or something like that. I think just you can go about it in a respectful way while still serving yourself. And like Kate said, you're probably building it up more in your head about how disappointed someone will be. Yeah. So just, it's hard when you feel like you're being tugged in two different directions. I would say take both those out, and then see what do you want to do and then figure out how to make that work in the situation that you're in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's two resources that I would urge this person, or that I at least found some relief in. And one was Glennon Doyle's book, Untamed. She has a whole section, and I can't remember exactly because I listened to the book a while ago, but she talks about checking in with herself, that she has to like literally sometimes go away from the conversation and lock herself in a room by herself so that she can check in to be like, what do I actually feel and what do I actually want to do? Because as codependent people, we're picking up off of everybody's energies, and our whole method of survival and our biological response hinges on what we think other people want from us. And so I find when I remove myself from the situation, put my phone away, then I'm able to like really check in to be like, do I really want to go to this thing? Is this giving me dread? Is this giving me excitement? And that book really helped at least put words to those feelings for me. And then the other book that I'm reading is called The Courage to Be Disliked, because I have like a major aversion to being liked. Yeah. And what that means and how to do it. And I don't like that book as much as I liked Untamed, but I would definitely still recommend checking that one out.
I think that's a very common female trait, is that we always like kind of want to be liked.
I feel like also we're trained to not want to be murdered by men. So we're always like, what's happening in the room?
Yeah, exactly. And just to add to what you were saying, I feel like that's another good way of putting it is I'll agree to something because I feel obligated to, or because I don't want to let this person down. And then as it, say it's an event or something, as it gets nearer, if I'm getting more anxious about it, then I know, okay, don't do it. Because, and hey, sometimes you go through with it anyway, and then you come home and you're like, oh, I'm really glad I went. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Which I honestly is half the time is the case. But if you're getting anxious or stressed out, before you even go, like just do yourself a solid and,
I've
stay
been
home
really
or whatever.
checking in with myself about the people that I've been choosing to spend time with, like even on the phone. Like, do I get anxious even before I talk to this person that I'm not going to like talk to them as often? Like, I'm going to seek out other people that like make me feel like it's okay to be me around them and are going to have my best interests at heart instead of that, which is.
I feel like this is going to sound like weird, but I kind of have a totem pole. And it's like friendships and relationships,
acquaintances,
whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of, sometimes it needs to be rearranged and other people move up and other people move down and it's constantly changing and that's fine. And you just need to figure out where these people or your boyfriend, obviously he's probably going to be at the top, fit on your totem pole, so to speak, and, kind of go from there. I don't know. Maybe that's bad advice, but that's just what I do.
I know. C, you're doing a great job.
Yes. All right. I got one from S. Hi, squad. Thank you for the podcast. I am newly sober and have thoroughly enjoyed binging every episode. When either of you got sober, did you experience any overwhelming feelings of boredom and or tiredness? I am at day 45 today and have slept so much since quitting drinking. I've always struggled with the fact that I have no hobbies and used to fill my free time with alcohol. Now that I no longer drink, I find myself taking very long naps, going to bed early, sleeping in, and I am slightly unmotivated to try new things and just kind of bored. Did this happen to y'all? And if so, would you be willing to share how you snapped out of your funk? Thank you very much. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's all I did was sit in bed, watch movies, eat food. You have so much extra time. Like drinking is an activity, which I learned earlier.
I relate to the having no hobbies or like Same, you do have hobbies. You just like don't remember what you enjoy doing. Somebody reached out to us in DMs and was like, I'm so bored. I don't know what to do. And I was like, okay, send me a list of things you like. Do you like pasta? Do you like the newspaper? Do you, and I sent like very concrete things. And I was like, and then they were like, oh yeah, like, and I like to go hiking. And I was like, see, like, I was like, choose 2 of those things and look in, even just like dip your toe into them. I think we forget like what we even like to do. Emily, who we just interviewed, when she said that thing about becoming more childlike and what you enjoyed as a kid really struck home because we like adultify everything and it has to be like, it feels like work and nothing can feel fun anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's because we've been masking it with like our actual joy with drinking. And, like Ruby Warrington said, you kind of feel like you need permission to have fun and enjoy yourself. And alcohol is that permission.
Or to be tired even. Like you 45 days into this unconditioning, like a major psychological, major biological situation for yourself. And you're going to be tired. Your brain and your body are doing a lot of work to repair and catch up and heal and rest. So I'm like, lean into it, especially in the pandemic, like go to bed right after you log off if you want to. And you'll feel more energy soon.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically for every single person, but the other thing that I noticed is when I was getting sober, I had more time, but I also was not creating drama in my own life. So I wasn't like running to clean up all the drama like I used to when I was drinking. Like the cycle would be like, wake up in a panic, be really anxious for work, like make that dramatic, make my commute dramatic, get to work, feel like crap, make that feel dramatic. Like everything felt rushed and chaotic and dramatic because I was creating fucking drama in my life. And then sober, it's like, yeah, I got up and I didn't have a hangover and then I drank a cup of coffee and then I went to work and it wasn't dramatic. It just happened, It's funny because that you're saying all this because Nance said the same thing with me, like in relationships and stuff. When you're like just kind of at peace in a relationship, it's internally, I'm so used to chaos. So it's my natural instinct to create some sort of a drama because drama basically is excitement, even if you don't want that. So, and if you're used to being in survival mode, like as a coping mechanism, like I cope and I perform very well under pressure. So if I can recreate fake survival situations for myself, then I can keep running and running and running. And I never get settled down to feel my feelings. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's okay to be tired. It's okay to take naps. It's also like winter. It's also, sad season. I mean, I would say if you're still like this in like another 6 months, maybe it's something that like should be looked into further, but I don't think it's weird. I think that it also, you'll snap out of it at a different pace. Like everyone is going to snap out of that at a different
their own pace. But yeah, like Kate was saying, just try to find like little things, like anything little that you get some sort of enjoyment out of. For me, it was dominoes and movies. For you, it might be crocheting or like knitting or whatever, you know.
Lately, I've been feeling a little bit bored as well. So something I did was
Mm-hmm.
I switched to, instead of social media, I switched to playing Sudoku on my iPad, because it's like you have to focus, but you don't have to focus that much. And then I bought an espresso machine because there's no joy in 2020. So I've been getting been making lattes and things. So I bought myself like really cute coffee cups, because at least you can have that feeling of like sitting at a cafe, like your cup, your saucer, your little spoon. And it's like a moment that I look forward to. That's like a totally mundane moment in the day. But now I look forward to it every morning, about like making myself this like coffee shop level latte and sitting and drinking it for like 8.5 minutes.
Yeah. Little things. I like, it sounds lame as fuck, but I've been like, I like doing puzzles every now and then too. You still feel like it's time consuming. It's, you know, you're focused on something. You feel really accomplished when it's done. And again, that sounds like really cheesy, and that's fine. But once you're actually doing it, it's kind of fun. And it's just like a little thing that you could do. I listened to a lot of audiobooks when I was getting sober and felt bored. Yeah. I think that you just need to find something.
And wait.
Little.
Be patient with yourself.
It doesn't have to be a great hobby or anything. Yeah.
Give yourself
a break.
break.
That honestly, like, in this season, the winter, fuck it, sleep. I love sleeping. Also, I hate to say it, but sleeping for some people, myself included, is another means of escapism. You know, if you're drinking to escape, I would sleep to escape as well, because then I don't have to deal with life.
I feel like we need to start like a Seltzer Squad Words with Friends team or something. Like some sort of online game that we could all play together, because I do too. Like sometimes I'm like maxed out on social media and I need something else like stimulating, but not overstimulating, but not emotional, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm not into like video games or anything like that. But
thanks for writing in.
It's not like you can go out and do shit for the most part, like you used to be able to. So I think you just need to be a little kind to yourself, and you'll sort it out. No, don't worry. You'll sort it out.
Hey Squad, I wanted to tell you about one of our sponsors for 2021, and that's BetterHelp.com. We get asked all the time by the Seltzer Squad for recommendations to therapists and mental health resources. BetterHelp is affordable, private online counseling anytime, anywhere. Through signing up with our link, you can take their short quiz and get matched with a therapist right away. Once they pair you with a licensed therapist in your state, they'll go over your income needs. So it's billed monthly, and it's based on your location, your preferences, and your therapist's availability. So you can cancel your membership at any time for any reason, but you get basically unlimited access to a therapist. You can have a live chat session, but you can also do like a text session where you walk away in between. You can do phone sessions, you can do video sessions. It's really kind of just depends on your level of comfort. So BetterHelp has a team of trained and fully licensed therapists that are in good standing. You can rest assured that you're getting a full credentialed professional. I actually used online therapy this summer when Nance was on maternity leave. I signed up for BetterHelp. Through signing up with the Seltzer Squad, our listeners get 10% off by going to betterhelp.com/seltzersquad. Give us an update in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I got one more.
Okay.
The name is Reckless Rue, which is amazing. Okay. So ours says, I've been mostly sober for the past 2 months, and I've made a decision to be sober permanently. However, I have a voice in my head telling me to just moderate and I'll be fine, or once my mental health improves, I'll be fine, etc. I feel like I need to get that idea of moderation out of my head.
There is no question here, but
that's not a question, but it is something to talk about. Moderation. If you do feel like you're going to moderate, and again, I don't want to be like giving bad advice.
This person is like keeping the door open for themselves for some reason. Like, why are you keeping that open for yourself? Is it because forever is so daunting?
She's saying on one hand, she wants to do it permanently. And on the other hand, she's like, I want to moderate. If you are going to moderate, if this is what you end up deciding to do, I think you should look up moderation management classes rather than trying to do it on your own. With that said, I don't think you should try to moderate. I think that a lot of people, that's how we relapse, is we think that we're going to be able to moderate and then we're not. So,
or try moderation and try it until it works or doesn't work for you.
It works until it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, is that worth it? I don't know. Maybe it is for you. For me, it's not. And I don't know. That's tricky. She's also like 2 months sober.
I would say like read Ruby's book and read Annie Grace's book. It seems like you need some literature on why you're feeling one way or the other, or at least like some supportive literature on, so
Ruby
being sober
Warrington,
curious or
Sober Curious, This Naked Mind by Annie Grace. Check those books out. I think that's a great idea before you make any decisions.
I
think
I hear
you should
overwhelmingly good things about Annie's book when people first get sober, to just kind of like put a frame of information around alcohol that's not tied up in our emotions. It's like the physiological part of what alcohol is doing to your body, what a hangover, it's going through all of that, which I think we romanticize alcohol and we shroud it in like the feelings about it that aren't even real. We just attach these happy feelings to it when that's not real. And you don't want to close the door on those happy feelings. I get that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's tricky. I think that you're baby sober. You're only 2 months. And I feel like she's straddling the line. Like she wants to drink, but she also wants to do it. I think that the word permanently is what's scaring you.
Yeah, forever.
And forever. So I think that maybe if you take that away and just focus on right now and what you're doing today and this week, I think that might also like lighten the load a little bit, because I think that's what the scariest part is when you first get sober is like, oh my God, I could never have a drink. And it's like, that's the idea of forever is so,
or like,
so
I can't, why should I even try? I can't do this forever.
Right. So I think reevaluate. Also try to get a little more sober before even making any choices, like I think that she really wants to be sober. I think she's just scared that she's going to fail.
Yeah, I've made the decision to be sober permanently. However, I have the voice in my head.
Yeah. But everyone has that.
Get support.
Everyone. Yeah.
Find
get some support.
Find other people.
But check out those books. I think those will be really good.
And join the Facebook group.
That'll definitely help.
I'm like smiling because she's like reckless Rue, but this email, there's not really anything reckless. It's like very well thought out.
I know.
Good luck, R.
Yeah, let us know. Give us an update. We love getting updates on these questions. So please update us. If you have written a question in and we've read it on one of these pod episodes, please send us an update if you'd like and put update in the subject line.
Yeah.
While emailing us at seltzersquadpod@gmail.com so that we can make sure that we mark it into the correct folder, because we want to hear updates from you guys. And with that said, till we meet again,
be nice to yourself.
And don't forget,
hangover suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.